What's up everyone? Join me out on the law and the GoPro. Out on nights last night, so woke up about 12 o'clock, tide's about 1ish. Woke up, the missus had gone downtown. I just thought, well, it's high tide, let's get down there, give this GoPro a go. So we're going down the Medway. Not the best place for lure fishing, can be pretty murky, but I'm going to give it a go. I've had bass out of the Medway on the lure, but we'll see what happens. I've got to get down there, tie a lead or not, so I'll probably put the camera on my chest and see if I can show you guys the ropes with that. Show you how I do it at least. I'm not going to say it's the perfect way, but it's the way that works for me, so we'll see. I love walking down here, it's so peaceful. So we're just past the Strand, a mark called the Square. We have to walk around the back of a sort of lucky little industrial estate sort of bit. Cement works. For you that know the area, it's right near Jubilee. It's in Jubilee Clips. So there's normally a few people fishing here, so we'll try and get somewhere decent. Chuck a couple of lures. I'm going to have fun in this video because I've never done it on the computer, so bear with me. As you can see, I've got another little rod on my back. I've got no bait with me, but I bought the float, and if need be, I'll go scavenging for some tiny little crab or something like that, and we'll see. Because every bass by one that I've had out in the Medway has had crab in its stomach, and they're not softies, they are hardbacks, they're little ones, but so we'll give that a go. Cool, it is high tide now, lovely. Building tide today as well, so hopefully the bass will be here. Yeah, I'm running pretty low on the lures to be honest, because I lost two the other night under the bridge. But it's a real nice day, real nice day. Really high tide. I wouldn't mind chucking a lure this side to be honest. Never done it this side because the tide's never been high enough. There's a really big tide. Hardly any wind, perfect. But as soon as I get round that corner it'll be blowing at me. Today. Surprising. Still the top of the wall, and guess what? There's no one fishing. Lovely, I've got the whole wall to myself, which means I can trundle up and down, cast as I please, not worry about going over people's lines. One thing with lure fishing that I found is just don't try and sit in the same place. Try and walk around, that's the idea. It's light gear, you ain't got to walk miles. Ooh, nearly. Just keep trolling an area that you think's good. I mean, the fish ain't going to stay in one place, so why should you? Well, we're here. This is one place that does wind me up, because 9 times out of 10 you'll see bait packets. There you go. Point proven. Squid wrapper. I've got to carry a bag with me to take it home, because I always have to. Oh, it's fairly clear. So, right, I'll get my stuff out of my bag and put it on my chest. See if I can show you the leader that I use. Right. Well, here we go. Right, so you've got your leader here and your main line here. That's braid. That's what is that? 15-pound braid, I think. I normally just do a loop next to it. It's quite hard in the wind. So you form just a loop next to it, through there, just wrap it round both your main line and your leader. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and just sort of cinch that down a little bit. Just a little bit. Then you get your other side. Do exactly the same this side. It's really hard to do on camera, actually. Try not to get my fingers in the way, but it ain't gonna happen. So another little loop. The braid I normally do a couple more turns just because it does tend to slip. 1. God, I'm making a right hash of this knot. 2. It's windy as well, which ain't helping. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing with this. 3. 4. 5. Come on. 6. Just cinch that down a little bit. Then what I like to do is just wet it. Bit of spit, bit of saliva. Pull the two together. Nice and tight. You end up with, so it looks a little bit like that. Nice and simple. And the 2 knots can't slide past each other. Get your scissors. So everyone buys meat scissors. Everyone buys braid scissors. I found that meat scissors do the job perfect. They're good for cutting your bait, obviously. He says as it didn't cut. There you go. Nice little neat knot. Then, rule of thumb for me, I do spread my arms out. So I normally do about, if you was to hold the line in both hands, just pull it apart till you stop, till you can't go anymore. That's the length of my leader. And I don't use anything special for leader. That's just cheap old Happy £20 line. Nothing major. Don't have to be anything amazing. And I've got my little bits and bobs box. Grab a little quick clip out. Tie them on the end there. For all you new fishermen that don't know they're not, so you put the clip on your line, form a loop, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then through that loop that you made, I normally like to go through it once, through it twice, grab the tag end and just start pulling down. You'll see it start to bunch up together. Then a little bit of moisture, just cinch it down a little bit, pull it. And before I cut that tag end, I go into my lure box. Don't know what I'm going to use today. Let's try a blue sand eel to start with. He's been hammered a bit, like you can see he has. Before I cut that tag end, I'll put him on there. These clips, I think they're just a little bit too small. There we go. And pull that down tighter. You can't get enough grip on the little clips. Tag end. Nip that off into your box, not onto the floor. There we go, we're good to go. That's fairly free moving, so I don't make him swim funny or anything like that. Yeah, the wind's in my face here, so I don't think I'll be getting too far. I did say when I come around that corner, I bet the wind kicks up. Sorry about the wind noise, guys. I don't know how these GoPros handle the wind. Sorry, not clutch. Yeah, it's not going very far at all. And make him swim. I know quite close in here there's a load of weed, so when I see the line get quite close, I'll bring it up a bit. It's all about working the area though. Don't stay in one place. Well, you can do what you want, but for me it's about not staying in one place. I'm no expert at lure fishing by any means. If you get weed, pull it off. Another little trick that I've done on that leader knot, on the braid side of it, if you put a little swivel, little bead, just big enough so it don't go through the tip eye, it'll stop you winding into it, so the knot don't get snagged on your cast. Well, there's loads of weed here today. I haven't done it this time, because I've been fairly good with it, to be fair. Winding it through. See what I mean? It's really weedy over this side. It's not normally this bad. There we go. Right, so looking out towards this way, I know there's a wreck there. There's a boat under the water there, quite a big one. So patrolling along the side of that is a good idea. Weed every cast now. Ice cream man, could do one of them. The wind's behind, well, pretty much behind me here. It was in front of me, just round that corner. Play around with your winding in as well. Try jerking it, try giving it longer pulls. Because sometimes it can be just as simple as the way you make it dance, which is the way to catch the fish. I've had the same lure on, not had anything. Then thought, oh, I'll just start retrieving. Normally, I had a fish. There's a lot to play around with. Same as your depths. So if I chuck this out, count 5, and then start reading in. You know you're patrolling slightly deeper water then, rather than out straight in. You're bringing it along the top of the water. My only theory of bringing it over the top is it's a hot day today, so I like to think the fish would have moved up in the columns. Oh, there's a lot of weed here. Yep. Work out your clutch on your reel as well. So I like to do 1, 2, 3/4 off. So then if something decent does take it, you ain't got to worry about whipping the clutch off quick. Straight through that weed again. Oh, too far. Right alongside that boat. Right, look at all that weed on the line. I might have to move round. I'm not going to keep putting this weed off. Quite a lot of mullets swimming around down here too. Yep, straight through the middle of that. Alright, let's clean that off. cast. Get that in there. Oh, I'll come back for all this rubbish after. Get that up. Go in there. There we go. Scissors, can't forget them. Need them. Never thought I'd ever use a selfie stick. Alright, here we go, walking round. The wall is damaging places here, as you can see, it comes through onto the land. Yeah, it's quite deep there, to be fair. Oh, it's nice around here. No weed at all, flat calm. Let's give this a bash. And the wind's really behind us, so I'll get a bit more distance. You can see the bottom here though, it is definitely shallower this side. Is that a clump of weed? Yeah, of course it is. As I say, I didn't feel a take. I'll persevere with this lure for about 20 minutes normally, 20 minutes, half hour. If nothing comes of it, then I'll change over to something a bit different. There's a weed dead cat there, because I'm back in it. There's a weed bank out there. I felt it run into it, which means I'll have to retrieve a little bit faster to try and get over the top of it. Sorry for the language, that was a take. This lure is battered, to be fair, probably had its day. I tend to use sidewinders, things like that. The brand, they just last a little bit longer than the cheap ones. I tend to let the reel do the jerking, so rather than wind the handle of the reel, I'll wind the rod round the reel, if you get what I'm saying. Loads of people have different preferences. That's weird. when you first start lure fishing, I did it. Pulled through a weed bank. I thought, cushy, I've just had a nice take there. No, it's weed. You'll know when you have a take. There's definitely a lot of weed that way. Alright, let's be careful and walk along this wall, because now I've got water either side of me. I'm not the most athletic person in the world, so I've got to be careful how clear that water is. You can see the way these swim. By giving it a jerk, it sort of rises in the water and drops back down. Oh, I'm loving this GoPro. So much easier. And I can actually film these sessions too. My experience with the Medway is bass like to come in close, especially on these bigger tides. So patrolling that edge isn't a bad idea. Well, that was more like a take than weed, to be honest. So I'm wondering if it was or not. I might try putting a smaller lure on in a minute, because that is for the big boy bass, to be fair. A jellyfish swimming around down there. That's a good sign. That means the river's clearing out, because they like clean water. Oh no, I think I've just gone straight into a weed bank. Yeah, that's too heavy. I tend to not waste my time. If I feel like there's weed on it, I tend to not waste my time and just reel it straight in, because it's pretty much pointless. Try and jerk it, because you're not going to get the full effect. Ow, hooking the finger. Yeah, this setup ain't anything too special. To be fair, it's a pike lure rod. It's just a cheap little Mitchell reel. Might put a diver on next, I think. Plastic lure. At least that way I can stay in the upper columns of the water. Stay away from this weed. Yeah, it's getting weed again. Right, let's jump down here. See what I can do, see what we got. This used to be a really good flounder spot, but we don't tend to get them up here anymore. The theory behind it is the bats are coming in and eating all the school ones. All the small ones, should I say, not school. What I'm on about. Question is, what do we go for? Come on, unclip. There we go. Do we go for Z or Z? Then we'll go for this one. There we go. Go. Oh, I'll just leave that bag there. There you go. So this one floats, and as soon as you wind into it, swims down. So the faster you retrieve, the deeper it'll go. There is only a certain depth it will stop at, obviously, but it's not going too bad. So with these I like to do slightly longer pulls. Slightly longer. Because then what you're doing is you let it float back up, it's mimicking an injured fish. Everywhere's different. Still getting weed. He's bloody hot. Yeah, bass just jumped there. They're here. Definitely here. Whether I could nick one is a different story. The Medway's never been that clear, and ideally the best thing is clear water for lures. I'm not saying you can't catch in dirty water, because you definitely can, because I have, but your chances are dramatically dropped. As annoying as it is, you've got to keep pulling this weed off, otherwise it makes it swim funny. They're definitely out there. Clutch has come off, that's why. Who's texting me? I get quite a few texts. There we go. It's alright, it's just work. I'm on nights. I can sod off today. try changing up the reeling a bit. Get it to swim a little bit deeper. I'll just wound that knot through. That one straight up and back down again. Another thing I'm trying out is lure fishing at night. It's something that I've done. Went into home base, bought myself some glow in the dark paint, and I've painted the bottoms of a few. I ain't got them on me to show you. Have I? No, I haven't. I painted the bottoms of them glow in the dark just to see what happens. I know you can buy glow in the dark lures, but they're really expensive for what they are. Oh, well done now. See, this one's got rattles in it as well. They are expensive, these, but when you get that fish on the lure, it's worth it, because they do fight on these little rods. And they strip line. Just felt a little knock then. Oh, that'd be why. Ooh. Well, I'll give this a couple more casts. I'll change over again. Probably to a rubber. Like I said, a couple more, one more, and then that's it. Give it its chance. I must admit, fishing with a braid, you can feel everything through the tip. I never used to like braid. I'll never really give it the chance, to be honest. But the only thing is, you can't be as brutal when you're playing a fish. You gotta sort of take your time with it, let it run. Oh, sorry guys. Right, so we've got this box. Let's turn this around. I'm popular today, I'll never get this many texts. Hello Riff. We've got this little box. We got all sorts in there. What we got? Sand eels. Plugs. What else is in here? If only I was on a live right now, I'd ask you what we want. Do I? Never had any luck with him. I want like a white one really. That's a top water lure. I have had bass on these, and they're quite heavy, so they punch through the wind. Exactly, I'll keep an eye on that. We are in Chatham. I've had some good bass on these. Really bright colours so they can see it. They sink quite quick too. So as soon as they hit the water, if you want to fish the top layers, you have to really wind quite quick. Right. To be fair, they're only cheap eBay jobbies then, and I did actually lose decent bass because the hook snapped. That's weed, that's not a fish. Yeah. The thing is, live baiting and pouting in the Medway gives you some decent fish, and that's not far off the shape. Okay, the colours are a bit more vibrant, but back into work tonight. And then half day on Friday, just to make up the hours that I've lost. Then, ooh, that's another thing. I don't know when this video will go up, so if it's already happened, ignore what I'm about to say. But hopefully I'm going out on a boat on Saturday. A good mate Neil, he's got a boat. Neil and Raf, should I say. Oh, I'm pulling straight through that massive clump there. Yep, there it is. Stuff. What's the rod? There we go. Look at it. It's properly thick. People normally laugh at me for using that sort of lure. Because generally you'd use that sort of thing off a boat somewhere. I've had some good fish on it, so I don't care what people say, to be honest. I really don't. I do my own thing. If someone don't like it, sod off. Leave me alone. I'll always take decent information in, but I'll have to go back to the top water lures because this is getting ridiculous. Yeah, look. More inweed. Yeah, I'm pulling through weed. I feel it. Yeah, here it comes. Look at that. Ridiculous. think it's just where it's been so hot. All this algae stuff is just blitzing through everything. Get rid of that. Ouch. Anything with lure fishing, look. Bloody hooks everywhere. Again, this one does the same as last one. Floats. Then swims down as you pull. It's all to do with that little beak up front. Forcing it down in the water. It's annoying when you lose these, because you see them float back up, there's nothing you can do about it. And that's 11 quid gone. I can't get annoyed with this weed now. Really annoyed with it. Can't even chuck a lure. I'm normally quite patient with this sort of thing, but this is getting annoying. It's even worse around the other side, so I can't even go around there. Let's try casting in towards land. There's no weed in that way, so I'll come out a little bit further and then we'll find exactly where it's sitting. Yeah, look, straight through the middle of a clump there. There you go, round it. Does swim nice, this little lure. Don't know how well you can see that. Again, it's the first time with the GoPro, so we'll see. Alright, come out a little bit more. This is what I do when I get bored. Just come down the river with a lure. If I catch, I catch. If I don't, I don't. It's that simple. It's better than sitting indoors in front of the TV moping. Or moaning to the missus that I'm bored. Tides turn. I've actually got to go over and make rigs for the boat, to be fair, because I don't go out on boats very often. That's not even swimming. Oh look, I wonder why. Weed. Tell you what. That's more weed. than out, but there you go. Jesus, every cast, literally. Can't complain, I didn't look, literally just come down here, which is what it is. Boop. Yeah, it's not even floating up to the surface now, it's got weeds on it. Yep, what a surprise. That suits yourself. Right. Sorry, I didn't get to go show you any fish, guys. It's very hit and miss down here, to be fair. You're having a really good day or a really crappy day. I wouldn't say today's been crappy because it's nice weather, but the weed is really annoying. This is my basic little kit. You've seen all that now. That bass that I kept down Sheppey the other day, sorry for you squeamish people, but when I gutted it, it was, well, it had a whole mackerel in its stomach, and that definitely wasn't my bait, because I only stuck out a little fillet, and there was a head in there, there was just the whole body. No wonder it weighed 4 pounds. Big old juicy mackerel inside it. Oh, Joey. He's white, that's shut. Right. There we go. Well, thanks for tuning in, guys. Pretty pink rod, look. I got that for the missus so she could come out spinning with me, but it is really a float rod. Of course she loved it because it was pretty pink, so now I carry it around looking fabulous, of course. Well, thanks for watching, guys. I know the last video was really long, but I was trying to make up for it and give as much information as I can. And hopefully this editing goes well and you'll see this. So cheers for tuning in, guys, and tight lines.